In a time when student athletes across the nation are tending to specialize in one particular sport, we see time and again in the Sioux Falls School District that the trend goes the other way, and that students actually perform better for having been involved in other activities. But it's another thing altogether to be a champion of multiple sports, and a record-breaking one at that. In this episode of Senior Spotlight, we travel to Roosevelt High School, where one senior has a proven history of making a name for herself through humble, hard work. Roosevelt High School has a lot of students. By far the biggest school in the state, Roosevelt will get some relief when Jefferson High School is complete in 2021, but until that time, the school is getting creative.
So they offered this new thing this year called 0 Hour, and so I'm taking that. And so it's like before school normally even starts. So I get here, it starts at 7:05 in the morning, but then it's good because then I get out at 12:30. So yeah, so I have government 0 Hour, and then I have graphics, and then AP Calc, and photography, and physics. And a lot of people I know are also taking online classes, and so they don't even have to be here, which has helped a lot.
If coming into school an hour early for class doesn't sound like something a ton of students would volunteer for, especially seniors, consider Jasmine Greer.
Grades are so important to Jazz, and she's the best example of a student athlete anywhere in the school or the city for that matter. She puts her grades first. She comes in right now at 0 Hour. She's 7 o'clock class this year. 7 o'clock, people are sleeping still at that point in time, and she's willing to come in, advance herself, take AP courses, push herself. She scores so well on just her tests, and her GPA shows for it. She's just a well-rounded athlete. She doesn't just focus on the athletic part of things. She really does put her whole emphasis in her life and getting better.
We caught up with this advanced placement student in physics and photography.
I've always been interested in photography. I used to play softball, and so I'd always take pictures when we were out and traveling, because it always interests me. So I figured, why not take the class? This year I'm taking a couple of different classes. I've already taken drawing, I think my sophomore year. Now I'm taking graphics and photography this year. Yeah, I've always been interested, never really had the time, but now I have the time, so I figured might as well.
Time is always a factor for Jasmine, who is a starter on the Roosevelt varsity volleyball team.
A senior, number 19, Jasmine Greer.
This team is very old. There's 7 seniors on the team, which I guess is kind of common because we had that my freshman year, but it's a big change because last year we only had 3. But no one person really leads. It's everyone over every grade, and this year we're really pushing to become more of a program, and from freshman to senior and all just being friends. We've been doing a lot of that this year. As a senior, you are expected to lead, and I wouldn't say I'm normally the head senior or anything, because I don't verbally lead, but I lead by example, just going as hard as I can, pushing myself to do the best I can for that day. And if I'm tired, I know I just have to push through, because then others know that they have to do that too. And then I'm always there all the time and in the weight room, always trying to get better.
Trying to get better is a reoccurring theme you're going to see. In addition to the time she's currently spending on classes, homework, and volleyball games and practices, she also has a part-time job. But that's only the beginning. Because as good as Jasmine is for this Riders volleyball team,
what's really cool about her, she's a multi-sport kid, which is getting harder and harder for kids to do this day and age. She's a starter on our volleyball team. And just talking with Coach Vanderwall the other day, she's hitting what is equivalent to a 250, 300 batter in baseball. She's doing that in volleyball now, which is very good.
Her truest love lies in an upcoming season.
Track is for sure my biggest passion. I want to go to college for that.
I've known her since she was a freshman and came on in, and just this spot that we were whoa, what's this kid about? And she just filled in really nicely, and hard worker, and I loved her ever since. Fell in love with her freshman year and just loved ever since. So her potential in her freshman year was just something I don't see athletes do. It's something that comes natural for her. And obviously it's taken her all the way up here. It's been wonderful, but she won state, her freshman year. That's unheard of, and especially throwing. So for that, to know that she hadn't even hit the tip of the iceberg on her potential, just was exciting to have for the next 4 years.
There are many things to say about Jasmine's shot put success and about her powerlifting success, an activity that takes up much of the year.
I originally started my freshman year because I wanted to get stronger, but I ended up quitting because I didn't think I'd be good. I didn't really understand it. So then I was more pushed into it my sophomore year by my mom, which I think has helped out. I love it now. You put in so much work and you don't really realize the work you're putting in at the time because you don't see results right away, but eventually you see them and it's worth it.
But she was recently recognized for exactly those successes, just before she helped Roosevelt beat Pierre on the volleyball court last week. And since we couldn't say it any better ourselves,
Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin tonight's volleyball match, Roosevelt High School would like to recognize and honor the recent accomplishments of one of its student athletes. This past summer, Jasmine Greer, who is joined by track coach Jason Wagoner, shot put coach Lisa Agar, and powerlifting coach Micah Nordine, was selected as the 2018-2019 Gatorade South Dakota Girls Track and Field Athlete of the Year. Jasmine becomes only the 5th girl from Roosevelt High School to be chosen for this prestigious award. At the 2019 State Track and Field Meet, Jasmine won the State AA Championship in shot put and set a new state record with a throw of 47 feet. Whose state record did Jasmine surpass? Her head coach, Coach Griebel. By winning the shot put state championship, Jasmine helped her team to a 3rd place finish, the highest finish for the Roosevelt girls track and field team since 2007. During the 2019 track and field season, Jasmine's best mark was 47 feet 3/4 inches in the shot put, which broke the Roosevelt High School record, which was also previously held by Coach Griebel. It moved her into 2nd place in the South Dakota High School track and field history and placed her 23rd in the nation. Another track and field honor received by Jasmine was being selected as honorable mention All-American by the National High School Coaches Association. Along with her track and field accomplishments this past year, Jasmine also achieved great things as a power lifter. In March of 2019, Jasmine was the South Dakota High School Girls Heavyweight Powerlifting Champion. In April of 2019, in Alexandria, Louisiana, Jasmine won the National Powerlifting Championship in the girls heavyweight division. Finally, in August of 2019 in San Jose, Costa Rica, Jasmine competed for Team USA at the North American Powerlifting Championships. Jasmine won the gold medal in the women's raw sub junior heavyweight division. Congratulations, Jasmine Greer, on your recent accomplishments and for representing Roosevelt High School in such a positive way. We are so very proud of you.
I tell a lot of kids, kind of a motto I have with a lot of kids is stay hungry, stay humble. And she's probably one of the most humble human beings you would ever meet. She's pretty even kill, never gets really up, never gets really down. Just embodies what we want in our student athletes in our school. You know, just puts the time in, works hard, does what a coach asks. I mean, she does everything, you know, the right way. You know, we never have to worry about her getting in trouble, anything like that. She's just a really well-rounded kid.
Jazz really works a lot on the technique. I think she's just a student of it. Everything I tell her to do, she really wants to learn it, and she's very good at just knowing her body and how it works, and that's a huge help. She's gone to a lot of camps in the summertime for throwing, which also, I mean, just more time on it is good. But the thing that really impresses me is she's worked so hard on her strength and flexibility. Flexibility would be the major thing on that. She decided to, after sophomore year, go out and do weightlifting, and that has taken her to nationals. I mean, she's won nationals with that, and that totally complements throwing. It just goes hand in hand, and the better she gets at that, the more flexible and strength she has for shot put. And it starts with the technique, but if you can add on to that the strength and just the body awareness and flexibility, you're gonna go everywhere with that. She is doing things so much in the off season to get her ready for track and field. Who does that? People just show up day one and said, oh, I'm gonna start lifting. Well, you have to establish your base strength. You have to establish your flexibility. And she's willing to do this all year round, which tells the work ethic she has is just phenomenal. And that's why she's so successful in what she does.
Here's a little taste of that success from Costa Rica.
Knocked out.
She's 17 years old. She hails from the United States of America.
Jasmine Greer, United States. She is making a 22.5 kilo jump. She made 205 look like it was a feather. She's trying to pull 500 pounds at age 17. Sub-junior, she's already got the gold medal wrapped up. This is one of those milestone numbers, a 500-pound pull. 227.5 kilos. Waiting for the jury to get set before this pull. Now it's called already. 17 years old, 501 pounds. Milestone pull. And she gets that easy.
Greer, there we go. 3 white lights for Jasmine Greer.
Lift is good.
When she came in as a freshman, she was throwing a little over 40 feet. Sophomore year, got in the 42s. You know, what really kind of took off for her was being a state champion as a freshman. That kind of put her on the radar of a lot of people around the state. And then she goes in her sophomore year, still throwing 41, 42 feet in the shot, ends up getting beat on the very last throw at the state meet. So I don't know if that was something that kind of drove her and kind of motivated her going into her junior year. And then, you know, she started the season last year as a junior, throwing in the 42, 43, 44 range. And then all of a sudden, towards the end of the season, she throws a 47-foot throw out there, and it's like, oh man, here we go. This is starting to click for her, you know, really well. And she got really consistent there. She was, towards the end of the year, she was in that 46, 47-foot range. I think, you know, she kind of started to relax a little bit. You know, when she was younger on the big stage at Howardwood, you know, state meet, she'd get a little nervous. You know, she's a kid that's pretty even kill all the time, but she'd get nervous at those meets, you know, and I didn't see that with her towards the end of the year. So she kind of just really took off towards the end of the year. Ended up throwing the second best throw in state history, and then goes to the state meet and breaks her coach's record at the state meet. So she set herself up really well to have a great senior year and go after some big marks. It's amazing when you can go out and beat your coach's record, who was a Olympic trials qualifier in the shot put. I mean, the bar's pretty high there to begin with, so I mean, I think she can go off and do some really great things. You know, she's getting a lot of looks at the Division I level from major track programs. And then the powerlifting too, I think that's a big part of what she wants to continue to do as well. So I mean, she's got a couple different opportunities to go, you know, beyond here, whether it's if she pursues the powerlifting or with the throws and in track and field. She's going to have opportunities to go do a lot of great things, and I think we're going to see her, you know, she's got an opportunity to be national caliber, you know. I don't want to say Olympic caliber yet, but I mean, she's got that opportunity, she's got that foundation there to be able to do that. It was crazy. I happened to be, I don't know, it was at the, I believe the Metro conference meet last year, Metro or Rich Greeno meet, and I happened to actually be at the shot put. And I actually pulled up my phone and I was just videoing her because I had heard she'd been throwing a couple throws, you know, and I tried to get her on as many events as I could, and I just happened to time it right that she goes and throws, I think it was 46.5 feet, which broke Lisa's record. And then I said, okay, she got the record. It was pretty exciting, had it on video. I'm like, okay, I can post this on Twitter. And then I went back up onto the track, because at O'Gorman there, the track's up above where the shot put area is. And so I come back, Lisa goes, she just went 47 feet. And it's like, holy cow. And for us as coaches, we get pretty excited. It's one of those moments where, you know, you say like the hair on your neck raises a little bit on the back. You're excited, you're fired up, and Jazz is just calm, cool, and collected. I'm like, come on, you just threw 47 feet here. So for us, it's really exciting, and we get fired up, and she's got teammates yelling and screaming, and she's just kind of like, no, whatever. And then, you know, go to the state meet, you know, after she throws 47 feet a couple weeks before that, you go to the state meet and all of a sudden the crowd's bigger for the girl shot put. You know, there's some momentum there of people's going, we're going to see something big here. And then when she goes out and does that, I mean, everybody gets really excited, and she's still just quiet, calm, collected, just goes, okay, yeah, threw 47 feet, oh well, you know. So yeah, it's really unique in the fact that we get, I think we as coaches and probably our teammates get more fired up than she does, but it's just really exciting to have that moment for her to be able to do that.
And how does it feel to coach someone into beating your own record?
Surreal but awesome. I could not have asked for anybody better. I was rooting for her from day one. I'm like, you're gonna do that. And I'm gonna be so excited. I'm her biggest cheerleader when it comes to that. And I think it's because of who she is. I could have a talented athlete, and I don't think I'd be near as excited if they beat my record. But Jazz is, again, the whole package. She's nice, she's humble, she deserves it. And so I couldn't have think of anybody better to beat my record, and I'm so proud of that. And I'm also just proud of the fact that I was the one able to coach her, you know? How cool is that? Who can say that, you know?
She thought I would, like going into my freshman year, like at some point I would during my high school career. So she was really happy that I did. She was proud. She herself has had an amazing career in throwing. And so that's really impressive to have here at Roosevelt and have her as a coach. And so she knows, so when she tells you something, we know that she knows what she's talking about. And she's just very technical. And she's also like a good, funny person, and so that's fun.
So it's no surprise when track season does start, she'll go from being a leader on this team to being a leader on that one.
I think the example that they show is huge. And I'm not talking just their example of how far they throw. I'm talking their attitude and how they portray, and Jazz is the whole package, you know. She's humble, she works hard, she shows it, she doesn't just tell it, you know. And so I am gonna be so sad after this year not having that example that she has set for us, not only for this upcoming year, but for the past 2 years. And to show where this can be and the success she's had is because of all that she is. And this is interesting, it's rubbing off, and I've seen this. I'm seeing some of the younger, especially the girls, find success in throwing. That's not always a popular sport for girls. And so we're starting to see, hey, she's getting scholarships and full rides, and this is something that is successful for her. So that's number one, and we're starting to see that. But number two, I'm starting to get some of my girl throwers interested in weightlifting in the off season because they saw the work that she put in, and it equals success. And so I'm super excited to see this upcoming year more girls out for weightlifting and the flexibility and the work ethic that they're going to establish before I even see them on the first day of practice.
While Jasmine is still processing her recent successes,
And honestly, I don't think any of this is really like sunk in yet. Like it happened, but like it hasn't like quite hit me.
she's managing to maintain a 3.96 GPA in the midst of it, and humbly doing what needs to be done, all of it.
She's just so down to earth and just so low key. You know, we're gonna honor her on Thursday before the volleyball game for the Gatorade Player of the Year, and she's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, I need you to bring your trophy in because we want to present that to you and do all those things. And she's just kind of like, oh, whatever. And she'll be, I mean, she'd probably be more embarrassed about that just because she doesn't want the attention on her, but it's like, you deserve this. I mean, you've worked really hard to get this, but yeah, just a super down to earth girl. I know she had a great summer of powerlifting. She went down into the Caribbean, I believe, somewhere and won the competition down there. She's had a great volleyball season so far. Coach Vanderwall said he's seen a ton of improvement with her with that. So, I mean, if I'm hearing those things and seeing those things, I'm going, can this girl go throw 50 feet? I mean, is that something that we set out there? And I know she's going to set the bar really high. And I think, too, she's driven. She started to figure some things out, the discus later in the year, too. I look for her to try and be a girl that tries to win both, you know, and that's going to be huge for our team. I think we're going to be in the mix to be a team to win it, and when you can have a girl go score 20 points or have a chance to score 20 points, that sets us up really well to do that. So, you know, we're just excited and to see all those improvements she's made in those other areas. Now let's take it to track and field and see what we can do there.
I'm hoping to throw around maybe like 50 feet. That's a goal, but we'll see if it actually happens. I mean, I hope so, but that's the goal.
As Jasmine eyes her future in a college track program, her coaches are too.
I'm seeing her being very successful in college. You know, not only athletically, I mean, honestly, academically. She can go wherever she wants to go, you know, when it comes to a job, a career, her life, and she has the work ethic and character to do that. So I see just nothing but great things for her in the future.
Nationally, she was 23rd in the country in the shot put, and I think Gatorade really looks at that and going, hey, this girl's national caliber here. This is really a deserving thing for her to be able to do that. So I think it's an awesome honor. You know, it's a pretty tough thing to win. I mean, there's just so many great track and field athletes in the state. So for her to be able to get that, it's just a really cool thing for her, and it's really exciting, and it shows the hard work that she's put in to be good at that, to have her get that award.
But like with everything we've seen from Jasmine so far, it's never all about her. She has a hope for the legacy she leaves behind at Roosevelt High School for future record breakers.
I want them to know, like, at first, you might not be the best, and that's okay. But if you put in the work, like, things will happen. You just got to be willing to try to do it. Because, like I said, I didn't do powerlifting my freshman year because I didn't think I could do it. But I tried again, I put in the work, I put in the time, and eventually you'll get results.
To see Jasmine in action this school year, check out the calendar on Roosevelt's page of the Sioux Falls School District website for volleyball, powerlifting, and track and field events.